The world around us is changing every minute. There are new advancements every day. With digitalization consuming every field around us, it has become necessary that we keep ourselves updated, or else we'll be left behind. Hi guys, this is Ayush for Vartalap Intellify, and today we have with us a very eminent guest. Yes, we have a social media influencer and a digital marketing manager, Shreyas Devashetty. Shreyas is the digital marketing manager at the Thick Shake Factory and manages about 140 stores across India and the United States. Apart from this, he's a social media influencer as well, with more than 11K followers on Instagram. He's a BTech graduate from the SRM University, Chennai, in electronics and instrumentation engineering. At a young age of 24, Shreyas has influenced countless people with his understanding of the digital world. He has more than 4 years of experience in the field. So, yeah, we can say he is one of the firsts. He has delivered more than 500 webinars on the same. So, Shreyas, I welcome you to Vartalab. I hope I haven't missed out on any of the details. Would you like to add something to it?
No, I guess that's a fine. That's a pretty good introduction. Yes. Hi.
Okay. So, I guess we can begin with our question answer session. So, Shreyas, you're a BTech graduate and
Mhm.
you're now managing digital marketing. So, what caused the transition?
Transition.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, probably when you look into the digital marketing, okay, it's a booming field right now. Like, probably, I don't know how it was before, but at least in the past 5 to 6 years, there's a good transition that's coming on. So, sorry, there's a good growth that is coming on. So let me start again. Let me point out why is the transition there. Okay. Point number one, I want to just get back to the my previous old times, how it was there. So basically, we have a family business. Okay, we run something called as generators. Have you heard about generators?
yeah,
Yeah. So generator business, how it works is basically we basically create dynamo, okay, and we integrate that with the engine, and we'll assemble everything together, and we usually sell into the market or we rent it in the market. Okay.
yeah,
So as they say, there's always a generation shift. So my
yeah.
father actually capitalized this market or industry pretty beautiful, probably when there's a shift from mechanical to electrical engineering. Okay. So when the electrical world has actually shifted to electronic world, he has just got the touch out of it. Probably we missed and we happened to get into very huge debts. And this debts actually started from the early age of probably when I was in second or third class. Okay. It started from very early age. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't easy to go through it. I was a child and I really don't know how to exactly what do you say, how to just go over that particular moment. So there were a couple of moments as well where my parents used to probably just drink water out and just feed me a complete day meal. Okay, so things were tough. Things were tough. So I just don't want to point that thing here. But what importantly happened is as we kept moving forward, okay, my father he wanted me to be an electronic engineer actually, so that I can probably get that kind of the new transformation to the business, and probably we can scale
Yeah.
up the business and back towards our family part. But
Continuing the family,
one,
continuing the family's legacy, I suppose.
yes, probably something very similar to that. But again, when I happened to look into that, what I actually felt was more than this shift. My father actually slightly lacked more managerial skills. Okay, he was a pretty good creative guy. Okay, he can just get the things rolled out. But the biggest problem for him is that probably he wasn't able to really manage things widely. So I felt that was a skill I need to develop rather than probably myself becoming an electronic engineer. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's when the shift happened. And my, what do you say, my interest towards this management background or marketing background has started to increase there. So that's when I slowly started to shift from complete engineering background to a tech market guy. Yeah, that's the basic transition how it is.
Yeah, our fathers, our forefathers, they are, a bit inclined towards family legacy. They tend to keep it, keep the family business should run for generations and generations and generations and generations. And that is why but
Yes.
that to change from something different to something entirely different. I guess both are almost opposite to each other, from engineering to management. So that was pretty good transition. Hats off to you for that. We'll move ahead with our next question. That what if you were explaining digital marketing to a school student or to a newbie, how would you explain it?
All right. So again, let me take an example of the similar example. Okay, the similar example. I just want to take like the way I explain it to my students who attend the workshops or seminars. See, probably this would be a great takeaway or a great learning for a person who was wanting to become a digital entrepreneur. Okay. So again, coming to the point of this, I just told. Did you remember our grandparents or parents who basically talk about generations? They say your generation has shifted. Probably they say that your interest is different from mine, the behavior is different from mine. Okay.
Yeah.
So the fact is, there is always in every 15 to 20 years, okay, there is a generation shift. Okay, there is a generation shift. So let me give an example of the current market. So probably from 1945, 1945 to 1963, there are people who are more baby boomers. This generation type is called as baby boomers. Okay. So a generation type holds the similar behaviors or the similar interests of people who are born in that 10 to 15 or 20 years of years in that gap, year gap. So talking to the point of baby boomers, these are more like a grandparent. Okay. I'm a millennial as of now. So I'll come to that point. So it's a more like a grandparents. So grandparents over here, they're more like what do you say? That generation is more like, probably I can take an example of Narendra Modi. Okay. Narendra Modi. So these kind of people, they believe that power will actually get you money. Okay, are you getting it? So they believe that power will actually get you money. So they've always wanted to be a dictators. Most of them, if you take 80% of this kind of the well settled and probably ones who are really famous belonging to the baby boomers, most of them are actually more dictators. Probably if you take even, I'm from Hyderabad. Hyderabad. Okay. So the chief minister over here, Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. K. Chandrasekhar Rao. Okay. So he as well has used, he has been a dictator. And moreover, these kind of people, they use revolution as a tool. Okay, they use revolution as a tool. So they use even KCR has used revolution as a tool towards the Telangana agitation that has happened, and wherein probably 7 to 8 years before the state got separated from Andhra Pradesh. So there's nothing wrong. I mean, there is nothing wrong in being a dictator. It's just a personality. So they just believe that if you are having a power will get you everything, money or anything associated. Okay. So this is the mindset of more people who are baby boomers. Moving to the next stage, probably from 1965 to 1980, most of our parents, they are called as Generation Xers. Okay. So Generation Xers are more like, you can pretty give an example of our parents itself. I mean, see, did you hear anytime they kept saying, let's have a stable income, have a beautiful house, have a car? I mean, they might not directly intend you to do that, but the intention is like, okay, if you get a job, you're well settled. So you can just buy a house, car, XYZ.
That's the reason. Yeah, they want financial security actually. Yeah, that is more.
Yes, financial security. And moreover, yes, more importantly, they're also very much interested to be safe in the market. Okay. Safe in the market towards their children, because they feel they have seen a lot of things, struggles and everything behind it with a different experimentation. So now these people are more like, they think money gets you power. You're getting my point, right? Okay. Baby boomers think power gets you money, but whereas Generation Xers think money will get you power. For example, simple example is probably the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Jagan Mohan Reddy. Okay. He's got a good settled income. I don't want to get into the controversial topic, but again, that is the intention behind even my parents. My parents love to have a good income. Probably not anyone. I mean, there's nothing wrong in anyone loving money. Okay, that's again the second part of what I mean. So, there's nothing wrong in that, but they want more than what is required. That is a kind of the expectation. Okay. So two of them are two with different categories. Coming to the point of the question that you have asked right now. Okay. So this question is more oriented towards millennials and Generation Zers. So I'm a millennial. Okay. I'm a millennial. I was born in between 1981 to 1995. So the mindset of millennial is more like, what do you say? We want to experience things by ourselves. Now, if someone will come and say this thing doesn't really work, I would rather not take it up. I would say, let me give it a shot. If it is not really working out for me, then I'll take it a consideration that, yeah, it might not work. So we like to experience things more than probably having an intuitive thought. Okay? We want to experience things first. That's the reason. Are you a millennial, firstly?
Um,
Are you?
Not actually. I am a Gen Zer. I am a 2000 born. But yes, even
All right, all right.
I believe that learning by doing is the best thing you can do.
Hmm.
Actually.
Wonderful. No, actually, my question was a little bit different because I just want to ask, even since you're somewhere nearby 2000s, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
you would love traveling. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah. Actually, I love traveling. I love exploring new places. That is what I do.
Clearing. I mean, that's almost a similar kind of what do you say, a behavior or interest you have with regards to a millennial background. Okay. Because
Hmm.
millennial almost ends at 96. So if you're
Yeah.
somewhere nearby close to that, I'm pretty sure you'll be having that kind of a behavior attached to you. So now this is a phase where internet started to boom. So as a millennial, I've seen world in two different phases where there was no internet much into the market and where there is internet into the market, which is right now. That's what I'm looking at. Now
Yeah.
coming to the part of Generation Z, I mean, that's what the major segment of audience, school students as you know. Okay. So it's very pretty important for all of you to understand that Generation Zers are born in the internet world. Okay. For
Yeah.
example, I got my social media, my Facebook account probably somewhere in 11th standard. I got a mobile in 11th standard. Okay. But whereas my sister, she's having a mobile or a social media accounts, Instagram and all, probably 6th or 7th standard. Okay. I would say they are
Yeah.
4 years ahead of time. Okay. So now the reason why I'm trying to say this is because digital marketing basically focuses on digital natives. So Generation Z and more importantly, the millennials ideally are digital natives. You get my point, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting your point.
Yeah. So yeah. So to be very precise, now I would say the digital marketing scope is going to go high. It's going to keep on increasing. So the reason is because Generation Z does not yet come into the market. So people who are born in 2010 or 2012, their age group is still 8 to 10 years, not more than that. So at
Hmm.
least by the age of 18, definitely there's a scope for them if they are looking forward for marketing. Definitely they'll choose digital marketing because that is one source on how to take things ahead with regards to the digital business, at least at this point of time. So digital natives are currently pretty high. So that's the reason I guess at least for the next 30 years or so, there is a very huge market for digital marketing as an industry.
Okay. So as I said, that you might have been one of the firsts in the field of digital marketing when it comes to India. So what were the challenges when you started? What challenges did you face?
I mean, see, I wouldn't specifically say that I was actually in the starting, but yeah, probably it gave slightly ahead of time than compared to what I'm right. Okay, there
Yeah.
was digital marketing even before, probably
Hmm.
from 2007 itself. I would say when Facebook has started, that's when digital marketing as well is already there into the market. Just that people are not really aware of it. People are more used to this kind of the traditional way of marketing. Okay, so coming to the point, how did I do that? Is I would say it's a pretty see. My idea is always to be a thought leader. Okay, you know what is exactly thought leader, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So see, being a thought leader in the sense, I always want to explore. Always want to explore one particular field that I can just be a what do you say? I can share my learnings, or I can just educate someone else with regards to that field. Okay. Similarly, in digital marketing, I've experimented a lot of things. Probably as we keep taking our interview forward, I'll discuss about each and everything. But again,
Yeah.
coming to the point of this, the transition. Ideally, as I told, I used to work in different fests or different groups in my college. So again, pointing out the same thing that my father probably slightly lacks in managerial skills. I basically want to enhance and take it much bigger. So just making him believe that business is the right choice. Okay. So yeah, stable income is fine, but business as well is a pretty good choice. So in that phase, though I was working towards it, now as an engineer, so you work, be it mechanical, civil, electronics, electrical, the one common company that will come and take you are IT. So IT companies will always be ready to take you in. So just like any other person, I also sat for placements. I got actually a job in Wipro. Okay.
Oh.
But I wasn't really satisfied with that. I was not really satisfied with that. Just like any other, I got a 3.3 or 3.5 lakhs per annum package as well. But the problem is that I don't want to be just like the same of how 10 other people will be. Because I just put my effort. I would probably even point out, I would say, almost in the last 1 year, I wouldn't have gone to college just because I was working on the fest. Okay. So, I mean, when you're in actually engineering college or any kind of the college background, you want to enhance or like show your skills up to the people surrounding you, or you want to just, what do you say, make the best use of it. Okay. So that's the reason I was not really satisfied with Wipro. But the part of SRM is like once if you sit for a company, okay, they don't allow for you to sit for any other companies. So except if that's a dream job. So dream job basically is like any managerial company or a big shot company which comes into the place and they recruit you for a bigger package, probably 6 lakhs per annum or 6.5 lakhs per annum.
Okay, so Shreyas, when you started, digital marketing was pretty new to India. I mean, it had been around for a while, but not many people were aware of it. So, how did you grind? What were your challenges? How was your daily routine back then when you started?
All right. So, like, just like again, as you told, digital marketing was already into the industry. So, not many were really aware of it. Okay. Probably I would say yes, just like you told. I was slightly much ahead of time. So, probably what compared to today, digital marketing earlier was a niche. So, coming to the point of what you've told, I mean, how I happened to get to it. See, ideally, I'm an engineer. So, just like most of the engineers, what they do is rather than just doing their engineering, they happen to do other activities as well. Okay. So having the two different thoughts in mind, one being, yes, I have to enhance my electronical background skills. On the other
Yeah,
hand, just like I told you, managerial is something which I need to compensate, which my family, not family, I wouldn't point out a family, at least my father, where I want to develop that skill, where I felt that was a hindrance towards the business. So with that thought in place, I've come forward. So there was never an idea I should get into management. It's just that probably I have to develop that skills. And that's where I happen to be a part of different groups in college, probably working out with a group called as Humanoid. I happen to work in Arush, which is the biggest achievement for me. And there are a couple of other groups as well, the departmental groups, the technical groups. And on a whole, everywhere, I used to be a part of marketing. So that's where I've been consistent. But whatever I do, I try to
yeah,
just sell myself. So that's the basic competency I want to develop. So moving forward, as I came to the final year of my engineering, so the biggest thing is even if you belong to an electronic background, mechanical, civil, computer science, anything, you happen to go and work in a IT background. Okay? So that's the
yeah.
kind of companies you get, like a Wipro or CTS, TCS. Okay? So when I sat for it, probably not to other companies, but at least I just got placed in Wipro, probably in the month of September itself. So I was happy with that. I was happy with that because yes, I got a job at least for the 4 years of effort which I put at least for probably the 16 years effort that my 16 to 20 years of effort my parents put over me to see something. So yes, getting placed was a beautiful experience, but I was not
Yeah.
completely satisfied because that is a IT background. I was not really completely satisfied. And the drawback of this particular thing is when I studied in SRM, okay, SRM basically allows you to sit for one company. So once you get placed, I mean, you can sit for a number of companies, but once you're placed, you can't sit for any more companies, only if it is a dream job. So the company which I placed, Wipro, they were offering me a salary of 3.3 per annum. At that point of time, probably 4 years before, 3 to 4 years before. And a dream job which comes out will come with an extensive package, probably a 6 lakhs or a 6.5 lakhs, sometimes even 7. Okay, and it goes on, it goes on.
Okay.
So I never happened to get any dream job at that particular time because there was no chance for me. So by the time Wipro was in place, there was no other companies, IT companies I can see. But again, probably at the end of my engineering in the month of December, there was one company, GRE Edge, who got on board, probably for recruiting. And I had an interest. Probably that's one opportunity which I got because I was not really allowed to apply for any companies. And people were actually scolding me. They're saying, hey, you already got one job. At least give the job to someone else. Why do you want to again waste this time?
Yeah.
But again, did that. So that my interest is not basically towards Wipro. So I happened to apply for that. Not only me, probably 550 to 600 people have applied to the job in that particular year. So SRM is a group of institutes. So it's the main campus is where I studied. But apart from that, there is one there's one NCR campus. In Chennai itself, there are two other campuses, Ramapuram, Madapalni. and it has different other groups as well. So people from different groups and different institutes will come to this common place, so that more to 600 plus applicants were there for that one role. So I never expected. I thought, okay, at least the kind of work I did, there would have been. If I would get a job, there is a kind of the my effort might come true. That's the one expectation I had. So there are at least 5 to 6 rounds. So as from 550 people, there are probably some 100 people that have got shortlisted. From there, 50 people and 15 people, and five, and finally, probably after 3 months of really huge effort, I happened to get placed in that company. And to be very clear, I was the only one person out of all the 550 to 600 people who applied for that. So that was a start to my digital journey. That's how I got to start to digital marketing. Before that, I didn't do digital marketing. But in the progress of application and doing all these things, and I felt, okay, this is the coming market and I need to definitely capitalize this. And that's my interest as well. I wanted to go into the managerial background. And that's how my journey towards digital marketing actually started.
A famous scientist once said that if you're the most intelligent person in the room, then maybe you're in the wrong room. So I'm assuming that this is something that fits here perfectly. Because a last interview you told us this as well, that you should never stop learning. Learning makes you grow. Learning makes you wise. Learning imbibes calmness. So that brings us to our next question. That when someone thinks out of the box, they face a lot of retaliation from the society, from their families, friends, and whatnot.
Mhm.
And digital marketing is something, if we keep 5 boxes, it is out of those 5 boxes. It is entirely very unique. So I'm assuming that must have been a case with you as well. So how did you keep a positive attitude towards life? How did you keep yourself motivated?
Okay. At least with regards to this question, I would say, see, point number one, the one people who should support you are either your parents or the ones who are very close to you. Okay. So there are a specific number of people, at least in everyone's life, you have a number of people you can count on fingers who you think are
Yeah.
very close to your heart. So I never found any of that kind of, what do you say, retaliation or people
Mhm.
not really looking forward for that. They always had what do you say, a belief in me that I'll be able to do something different. I'll be able to be successful at that thing. So I never faced, with regards to at least this point, which is switching my career into digital marketing. But even if there are anyone, see, ones who are close to me, I've never done that. But there might be people who are surrounding, and right now there are people who might think I should go down or up. It's one thing I would say is like you shouldn't even care about it. Okay, so it's you, and when the loved ones are actually liking you doing the same way, then there's nothing wrong. I mean, just go for it. Okay. For me, there's nothing positive note over here. I never really bothered about it, and it never happened to me in that case. That's the point number one. Even if it would have happened, I would have really bothered about it. That's the very simple point.
Yeah, yeah. But the second part of the question was, how do you keep yourself positive? How do you keep yourself motivated?
Motivated. Wonderful. See, I'm a slightly a bit different guy. I mean, traveling is always one kind of an experience I look into. It's my interest. It's my interest. And more importantly, when I used to stay in Chennai, either after my college is done, at least for 2 to 3 years, I was there in Chennai. I used to work for this company called as GRH. So when I used to work there, myself and my colleague as well, I wouldn't call him as a colleague. So we are more friends than being a colleague. His name is Sanjay.
Yeah.
So we both happened to stay in what do you say, a rented apartment. So which is a beach based thing. So it's a beachside house, I would say. Okay. So for me, positivity was more to just forget everything in life and just go sit in front of a beach and just get the feel of that beach. Okay. So that the vibes that you get on doing the interesting things, okay, will make you forget all the flaws in your life and whatever negativity, whatever downfalls there. So anything that you do with interest, I'm pretty sure that will actually make you forget every other thing in life. So that's one thing which I used to do
Yeah.
when I was in Chennai, but right now I switched to Hyderabad. Hopefully, once this COVID goes down, I just want to go and meet my old friends and probably just sit in front of a beach once again. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We're all missing our friends in these tough times.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So, if Shreyas Devashetty had not been a digital marketing manager, what else would he have been?
I mean, I'm not really sure about it. That's what I'm not really sure about it, because now the step which I took after my engineering was I need to get into any management background, be it marketing or sales or operations. Anything if I would have gone, I would have been really satisfied with that. So digital marketing is something which I happened to get into. Rather, if I would have got into sales, then my perspective would have been different. If I would have got into operations, my perspective would have been different. So I'm pretty sure I would have been confined to the managerial background, the management background, with regards to any of the business touch points. But definitely, I wouldn't have been, or uh, I would have continued myself in IT background. Even if I would have probably gone to Wipro, what if I wouldn't have got a job here? I would have definitely chosen the other option, that is Wipro. Going ahead, there's nothing wrong. Probably I would have been a manager there as well. Okay, as the time you just keep going forward, management. What is it? You'll definitely tend to get a manager role. So if not digital marketing, some other manager. So I would say the curve would never stop. I'll just keep on going until I just want to be the thought leader in any activity that. That's the only intention behind it.
That is really amazing. Okay, so at the end of our show, we ask our guests to deliver a message of their own to our audience. Maybe a message, an advice, a suggestion, a motivational speech, anything that you like.
Okay. See, just like a point you're saying at the motivational speech. So, firstly, I want to point out two things here. Okay. One is inspiration. One other is motivation. Okay. So, inspiration is something you tend to, like you get that wow factor. Okay. But probably you might not tend to take an action with it. But when you come into the point of motivation, okay, there is a wow factor and there's also a call to action. There's an action that is associated with it. Okay. So rather than inspiring people, it's better to motivate people. And that's what I'm trying to do. Okay. So when you motivate people, I want everyone to understand two things here. We're trying to motivate people. The first thing is play with curiosity. Don't play with surprise. So what do I mean by curiosity? For example, Dhoni hitting the final blow of six in the 2011 World Cup. Okay. It's not a surprise for me. It's a curiosity level because there were 4 runs left over, probably in the last 9 to 11 balls left. Okay.
15
I knew
balls.
that India is going to win. 15 balls, sir.
Yeah.
So I know India is going to win because there is 4 more runs left, or the runs are much lesser in number of balls that are there. So, but on the other factor, I can see Dhoni, who's on the pavilion. He's on strike. He's a man on strike. But my curiosity level is that what can Dhoni actually finish the final blow? That's some curiosity I'm having. Okay.
Yeah.
So in that particular moment, when Dhoni actually hit that final six, it is an immense experience that I felt because it exactly happened how I felt. I mean, I expected that thing to happen, and I can see the thing live in front of me. Okay, that's the curiosity factor. I'll tell you why I'm saying this thing. And the other one is surprise factor. Surprise is just like, again, one other example of Dhoni, probably India versus Bangladesh Asia Cup final. Okay. He just, when Hardik Pandya was bowling, there are how much, 2 runs to win from 3 balls and 3 back-to-back wickets you have got. Just went and he just,
It was
yeah.
actually the World T20 final. World
So World
T20
T20
league match, not a final, league match against Bangladesh.
I was basically talking about the one finals. I guess it is Asia Cup itself. Okay. So I'm not really sure. But again, coming to the point of the example, see, when we both got confused here, we remember the factor that Dhoni just went and he striked it. Okay. We remembered that moment. We just remembered that Dhoni actually striked it and he made India win. But we really didn't remember that which moment was it. We both itself got confused. Okay.
Yeah.
So surprises will definitely make you wow at that particular time. Again, curiosity something is an intention that you always have inside your head, and if that actually happens to come right, you remember that thing forever. Okay, so if you're motivating a person, try to build the curiosity in him, and more importantly, if you want to go successful in life, the 2 steps which I usually follow, I wouldn't recommend anyone to do the same way because it's their interest, their personality will be different from one another. My personality is different from one another. So as a suggestion, yeah, probably this is what I do. Probably if you want, you can just take it. But what I would say is I would always take 2 things as an example. Yeah, 2 things as a motivation. That is, one is discipline, and one other is consistency. Okay. Now again, if you talk about discipline, I don't specifically be disciplined in every activity that I do. Okay, probably I might not go to office in time. I always have a delay in time there. Okay,
Yeah.
but when I'm actually facing the customer, for example, even in today's session, okay,
Yeah.
we discussed that we'll have sharply at 10 o'clock. So I'll make sure that I'll be available at 10 o'clock. So for me, you're an end user. For me, you're a customer. I would see you in that way. Okay.
Yeah.
I would always tend to grow myself to be perfect in other activities as well, but I'm not yet there. So at least the customer at this point of time, if I'm looking forward to start a webinar at 8 o'clock, I should definitely start it at 8 o'clock. I don't want to have that kind of even 1 minute delay, though it's a free webinar, though it's a paid workshop. And on the other hand, consistency. So consistency has been a big issue for me, at least with regards to the work I'm doing right. I've experimented things working as a consultant. Okay, I had slightly on and off with regards to my job. Good that they've supported me in my workplace as well. I'm working at Thick Shake Factory. That's a major point I want to say. Okay, so Thick Shake Factory, they've been supported. I mean, they didn't say, hey, you don't do all these things apart from doing your own job. They say, do it. And they also kept on supporting me. Wherever you go, at least in a few places of times, they used to say, hey, work on this content. I mean, that's pretty good, man. So we all are colleagues and we happen to motivate one among ourselves. Okay. Yeah. The point which I want to make here is that, okay, the consistency part, there are a couple of ups and downs. There have been ups and downs with regards to my job, as I told you. I told also that Thick Shake is supported. So I took clients. I tried to work as a growth hacker for a couple of companies. I started to work as a consultant for a couple of companies. I happened to try to do at least 2 jobs at the same time. Okay. So then I realized, if you hold a bit of stand, you can't hold kilos and kilos of sand. You can just hold how much you can just grip in yourself. Okay. So the biggest thing is, as a part of the consistency, if you want to maintain a consistency, the first thing that you need to know is you should also tell no to certain things. You can't do everything possible. Okay. You can't do everything possible. And the consistency, what I learned through my experience is that it's not possible for me to do 8 tasks. Probably I'll be able to do 2 tasks. Okay, so multitasking is not that you'll be able to manage 20 or 25 things. You'll be able to manage things that you can take up, probably 2, 3, or 4. That's okay. Even if it is 1, that's okay. But the thing is, be consistent in that. Right now, the workshop has become a consistent activity for me. I used to struggle on when exactly I should do my workshop. Starting from Monday to Thursday, it's become a daily routine for me. And the other days, I do free webinars. So now I understand. I have a schedule. So I follow discipline to start things in time, get the exact content that audience are looking forward for. On the other hand, I also maintain consistency so that people love me for what I do. You get it? So they like my content. I want to just make it consistent so that people will keep on loving it. So that's the 2 factors associated with it. And with this, keep motivating people. Keep motivating people. Just make people take an action from whatever activity that you do. And work more on the curiosity factor rather than surprises. So these are 3 to 4 giveaways of things that you can, if you think you have to take it, wonderful, you can take it up and probably you can just build your own personality. Yeah. That's up to it.
So that was a really wonderful conversation we had with you, Shreyas. We learned a lot of things, First and foremost, learning. You have to learn. Everyone just keeps coming and telling us that very simple. Learning should never stop. Another thing, the first lesson of business is that risk brings reward. So yes, never be afraid to take risk. You have to explore yourself. You have to find that what you truly desire. Keep exploring. Don't be scared of exploring. And instead of multitasking, try to smart task. Try to prioritize your work. Try to build a schedule, maybe anything that suits you. But instead of multitasking, do smart tasking. That might be of much more benefit to you. So this was Ayush for Vartalap. It has been a really good conversation with you, Shreyas. Guys, you can follow him. I'll drop his link in the description. So you can just go and follow him on Instagram. And so, goodbye from Vartalap. Take care. Be safe during this time.